Welcome to our episode on the journey from failure to success in market trading. Today we have a special guest, Tony Pawlak, who has been a full-time stock trader for 5 years and his path to success was far from smooth as he faced multiple setbacks and lost everything not just once but 5 times in the beginning. However, Tony's story took a turn when he learned valuable lessons from his mistakes and honed his skills as a trader. Now he consistently achieves remarkable returns of 200 to whopping 400% each year from market trading. His inspiring journey has led him to become a master coach at real life trading, where he generously shares his successful market strategies and insights with others. To talk a bit about real life trading, it is a leading platform for stock market education and it offers a wealth of online resources to help individuals make money through trading. With a highly popular YouTube channel boasting over 55,000 followers, real life trading provides valuable content to educate and empower traders at all levels. And for those seeking personalized guidance, Tony and his fellow experts offer premier coaching services through the platform, with Tony himself dedicating over 2,000 hours per year to one-on-one stock market coaching. But before we delve into Tony's incredible journey from failure to success, let's kick things off with a surprise element. Tony, we will mention a few random words and would love to hear your immediate thoughts and associations with each word without thinking much. Let's begin.
Sounds great.
First word is curiosity.
Curiosity. And the first thing that starts is just thinking differently, thinking outside the box. I don't know how short you want these to be, but for me, curiosity was kind of my thinking of, I think there's something out there. There's easier ways to make money than work my entire life way. So being curious, that's kind of what that comes to, is just thinking outside the box, thinking differently than everyone else.
Invention.
Invention is, again, kind of the first thoughts that come to my mind is solving problems. Would be that. Yeah. Invention of solving problems. Future, unlimited possibilities would be my answer on that one.
Yeah, indeed. Book.
Man, book would be, I would say, I guess I'm trying to be abstract or just titles, but I love Trading in the Zone would be one of the greatest books you could start with when it comes to trading the stock market. But books is just, if you're taking your time to read books, you're doing the things that billionaires do. So, books in general is do the habits of people that you want to become. And books are always a habit of billionaires.
Yeah. Conquer. And moving to the next one, investment.
I would say anytime you're doing an investment, that usually means risk. And a lot of people hear the word risk and they get scared. Investment for me is overcoming fears. And fear is one of the main things that hold people back, which is the reason why people won't invest in real estate, stock market, anything. So overcoming fears is the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear investment. Wealth is your ability to be able to pursue your purpose, what you're passionate about. If you have wealth, you are no longer working to fulfill someone else's purpose. You're working to fulfill your purpose. And that's usually what comes with freedom of time and all these other things. But that's what I view wealth as. It's not so much a number. It's more of, am I able to live the life that I want to live?
Super. Retirement
for me, it seems like I'll be happy when I can retire, then I'll live the life I want. So I don't ever want to retire. I want to live my life right now. And that was the reason why I got into stock trading was I was tired of when I'm done working, then I'll be able to spend time with family and this and that. It's like, I want that now. So retirement is kind of like pushing happiness down the road in my book. I know that's a different way of thinking of it, but I want to live that right now and not when I'm 65.
Yeah. Here comes the last one. Success.
Being open to failure, learning from your failures. Success only comes through failing. And everyone tries to avoid failure. And that's why they don't see tremendous success in their life. Success is not the comfort zone. Success is your ability to leave your comfort zone, go through the battle of stretching and coming out a better person. That's what success is in my book, no matter what you're doing. Facing that fear, expanding that comfort zone, and coming out ahead through your failures, not coming out because you just did perfect, coming out beat up. I struggled, I did this, but I learned. That's success.
Lovely. I loved it. Tony, thank you so much for participating in that and really appreciate it. And folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series where we embark on an exhilarating journey towards a better future. I'm your host, Navin Samala, a passionate advocate for positive change. And together we will shape a world that's not just livable, but thriving. At The Guiding Voice, we ignite transformative conversations that hold the power to shape your life and your career. Brace yourself for captivating dialogues that will leave you inspired, informed, and most importantly, empowered to conquer new horizons. Each episode is carefully curated to bring you valuable insights, expert advice, and thought-provoking discussions that will propel you towards success. And folks, we believe in the limitless potential that resides within you, and our aim is to unleash it with the power of conversation. So whether you are seeking career guidance, tools and technology trends, personal growth, financial planning, or any strategic thought process, or simply a boost of motivation, you are in the right place. Let us be your guiding voice as we embark on this remarkable journey together. And thank you for joining us, and get ready to unleash your full potential. The future is bright and we are here to help you shine. Tony, hearty welcome to The Guiding Voice. Super excited to have you part of our journey.
Man, it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to have you, Tony. Let's get started. And as always, I'm curious to understand from my guests the success mantra. Like, what are the top 3 things that I've attributed to your success so far?
Man, the top 3 things. There's a lot. I'm going to have to narrow it down to 3 things. I would say accepting failure. I spent my whole life trying to avoid failure. I didn't want to be a failure. Yeah, it was my ego. Accepting failure, I think I can relate across the board with anything. That was a big one that's led to my success. Let's see. Being fearless. Again, being willing just to leave that comfort zone. And that kind of ties into the accepting the failure. But I would say that. And then getting mentors, having someone there that's done it before to kind of help show you, because especially in investing in stock market trading, it's a change of mindset. And most of my students, I'm just trying to help them think differently. And once they think differently, they see success. If you come in it thinking like everyone else, there's a reason why 90% of people fail in the stock market. It's because they take their natural thoughts, the way that we've been raised as human beings. It doesn't work in the stock market. You have to think differently. And so getting a mentor helped me to finally see that, understand that, and start thinking differently. And that would be one of my keys to success, is just the people I put around my life.
So one thing what has resonated so far in the conversation is embracing the failures. So I think you have learned a lot from your failures, and now it's time for you to share your story from failure to success, especially in market trading.
Yeah, I can't wait. For the longest time, I was like ashamed of my story, and now it's like I share it with every person I meet. Like, it's what I love to share. I'm very proud of it because I'm proud of who it turned me into. Again, it's that success, right? It's going out there and failing. So let's start from the get-go. I ran a family business in Arizona here in the United States, and it was a trucking company, and it was a great life. But I worked all day, all night, 7 days a week. It never stopped. And it got to a point where I just started feeling deep down inside, like there's something more to life. I felt like God was calling me. I felt like the universe was calling me to do more in this world than to just try to survive. Like, I worked all day long just to take care of my family. And I was like, I want to take care of the world. I want to have a bigger impact than I don't want to just take care of my family. How can I help others? There's so many people struggling. How can I do this? And so I started dabbling in the stock market for years. And I really loved the markets. And I felt like that's what God was telling me to do. Just the stock market had such a magnet to me. And one day I was like, let's do this thing. Let's quit my job and let's move to Utah in the United States, where my wife's from. So she's like, let's do it. She's been wanting to go back to Utah. We quit everything. We quit our job, a really good, comfortable job, quit that and sell everything that we have. We go and buy a house in Utah. And I'm like, let's do this thing. I'm going to be rich and life will be great. And I think I had like 30,000 in my trading account. And I was like, in 2 months we'll be millionaires. Life will be so good. Like I just felt like this was my purpose. This was my calling. How could I ever fail? Right? When you're doing your purpose, how could you ever fail?
Yeah.
And we go there, we move to Utah, and I start trading. In the first week, I lose thousands. And I'm like, okay, well, I needed to make $5,000 by the end of the month to pay my bills. Now I need to make 10,000. All right, let's get going. The next week, I fall back. I lose a couple more thousand. The next week, and it just keeps steamrolling. And I'm falling apart. And I'm like, I have all these bills to do, and I need to make up 10, 15,000 now. And I just kept steamrolling. I lost all of my account within, I think, the first month of trading. And so we had savings. We take savings out. We fund the account again, and let's get going. I lost that relatively quickly after that.
My God.
So now we have nothing. We have no savings, which was supposed to keep us alive. I've already lost all of this money that we had, and things were falling apart. I continue to feel in my heart like this is what I should do. So I'm like, well, let's go get a loan.
Yeah.
I don't recommend this, but this is what I did. I went and got a loan because I had really good credit from all my years working, running that family business. I get a loan. That loan lasts maybe a month. I mean, it is gone. I am just butchering this money. And everything I did would lose, just everything. And I'll go into the reason why and kind of how I changed that. But really what it came down to is I was scared to fail. I was scared to lose. I thought that if I failed at trading, I would never be able to trade it ever again. Like, this is my dream job, and I would never be able to do it ever again for the rest of my life. That's what I thought. I also didn't want to go back to my family. My family's like, you're going to lose everything. Good luck. Right. And I didn't want to go back to them and prove them right.
Yeah.
And so I had all this pressure of, I didn't want to fail. I can't fail at this. And all I did was fail. I thought about the markets like everyone does. So then that's where real life trading comes in. I get mentors through real life trading, and I start to work my way through it. I know how to trade. I just am not profitable. They kind of help point me. Jeremy Newsom, my mentor, he kind of helped point me in the right way. Helps me to start thinking a little bit differently, and it starts getting a little bit better, but I'm still struggling. At this point, we lost our money. I go get some credit cards, and I'm on my last bit. Like, the banks were like, I'm not giving you any more money. Like, it's over with. I don't know what you're doing with it, but it's all gone apparently. And so I have like $8,000 a month in card payments and loan payments, and I'm not even making anything on top of my mortgage and my other bills. We were just drowning. And it was the most stressful time. I literally cried myself to sleep every night. I just was a mess. And one day, like, we had $10 a week for our grocery budget. That was it. Like, a packet of ramen and some canned beans. Like, that's all we had. That's all we had. Nothing. And my wife, this canned food people came over for a canned food drive. Just be like, here, give out some food. Can you donate some food? And my wife donated like everything that we had. And I was mad at her. I was like, Alec, we don't have anything, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, Tony, I'm tired of living in fear. I am tired of feeling like I don't have enough to give. I am tired of feeling like I'm scared to lose it all. Like, just hold on to it. Because me holding on to those last little 3 cans of corn is me living in fear. It's like, there's no way my future can be any brighter than this. It's not going to get any brighter than this. I just have to hold on because this is all I have, right? So she's like, I'm done. You know what? We're going to let go of this, and our future is going to be brighter. We're going to start having hope. We're going to stop being scared, and we're just going to let it go. If we fail, we fail. And something clicked. And I took that attitude to trading, and I was like, you know what? This entire time in trading, all I've done is be scared to fail. Whenever I'm losing on a trade, I would just let it lose. And I'd like, it'll turn around, and it never did. And I'd just lose. And whenever I was winning on a trade, I would take the trade too quick because, well, I'm up $200. I need the $200. And I would take it. And that is a formula for disaster. I'll go into what trading really is and how you all can be better at it, how you can succeed and where most people fall, what the pitfalls are. But that changed my entire thinking. I was no longer scared to give up wins. I was like, I'm just going to let it win. And when I was losing, I would cut it because I was no longer scared of losing money anymore. I would just lose. So what happened was I started to lose small and I started to win big. And I went from trying to stop losing on trades to, I don't care if I lose on a trade. If I do lose on a trade, let's lose $100. And if I win on a trade, let's make $1,000. And if I've got a 50-50 win rate, there'll be times where I lose, and there'll be times where I win, but I win way more than I lose, and I start making money. On On top of that, I started figuring out problems. Again, that curiosity. I love that word. I started solving problems. What are my problems? Well, I need to make this much money. I need to do this. I have a very small trading account. I think I had 15,000 in the trading account at the time. It was all credit cards. Here's my problem. How can I make $1,500 a week on $15,000, which is just crazy?
Yeah.
Well, I looked into a strategy using credit spreads, and I teach this strategy to this day. It's still one of my go-to strategies, even to this day, for paying my bills and keeping me as a full-time trader.
Mm-hmm.
And so I developed strategies, and I changed my mindset, and that's what started to pull us up out of there. And all of a sudden, we started making a couple $1,000s a week on a $15,000 account. Now, my risk was pretty large. I don't recommend that, but my risk was pretty large. I did what I had to do to just pay my bills. And slowly but surely, we got ourselves out of debt and started growing. And I'm so glad of and proud of my journey, because I did something that most people can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I can relate to nearly every single person that's trying to learn how to invest and trade in the stock market, because they're all going to be there. Whether at some point, good or bad, they're all going to be there. And I can relate. I can yes, I've been there. I've lost everything. I've done this. I've made that mistake. And by the way, I continued to make mistakes as I went, but I grew through it. That made me relatable, and it helped me to relate to people that were struggling. And I was able to give them the exact tools that they needed to get out of it way faster than it ever took me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I believe so much in mentors, is because without a mentor, I wouldn't even realize that I was going down the wrong path.
Right.
I was running full speed, but I was running in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And instead, I could put that energy towards the right way, the right direction, at least know I'm in the right way. And it's been a crazy roller coaster ride. It was a journey that I don't want anyone else to have to go through.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I want to teach, and why I do teach. I still trade full time. That's the majority of my income, but it's a passion of mine. Again, I talked about pursue your passion. What's your passion? A passion of mine is to help others on this journey, because it is not an easy journey. Yeah. Trading is not easy. Even when you get it, it's still hard. It's not this it's the hardest way to make an easy living. It's so worth it. As long as you can realize, look, there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times. What do you do when it's bad? How do you get yourself out of it? How do you make back money that you've lost? What are things you don't want to do? Naturally, it's let me try to make this money back. And that's the worst thing you can do. And so how do you make your money back? Well, it's actually getting better risk rewards, being more picky with your setups, being patient, and maybe waiting, because the markets you're not seeing what the market's trying to give you. Stop screaming at the markets and start listening to what they're trying to tell you. Because if you're not making money, you're out of alignment with what the markets are trying to do. Yeah. And walking people through those things, again, the lessons I've learned over the years and years of trading has completely shaped my life. And I'm excited to share some more of this tips to help your listeners. If they're interested in investing in trading, I can at least give you a few tips today that will help you at least point you in the right direction, so that you don't have to fall through the mistakes that everyone makes. And then when they make those mistakes, then they go, oh, well, it's just rigged. Yeah. Or, oh, it's just no one can do this. Or I guess I can't do this. Or I guess I'm not smart enough to do this. None of that is true. You just need to have the right skills and the right expectations and the right mindset going into it to realize this is how it's going to be, and to keep pulling yourself forward, because there's going to be bad times. There'll be good times. When you're successful, you're not this I'm the smartest person in the world. And when you're a failure, when you're losing money, you're not the dumbest. No, it's just having the expectations of writing everything out. But that's kind of my crazy journey. And that's what's got us to here years and years later of we're all out of debt. We're living our dream lives, and I get to spend my time helping others on that journey. So life is amazing. But again, you don't get that success without accepting that failure and having to walk through that failure. And that's still the lessons I go through today. Still failing, still learning, still growing, and pushing forward.
Quite amazing. And I see a lot of passion when you speak. One important point that you have emphasized, and it's been one of the trends that I've observed in people and leaders like you, is believing in the mentorship, because mentors are somebody who has seen that path and been through that journey. You don't have to fall into those trap, and you don't have to fall into that particular wrong path. So I think it is essential for us to have those mentors and go in the right direction rather than experiencing failure ourselves, because they'll help us do the course correction and it immensely benefits us. So such a great point. Now let's move ahead and talk about the common mistakes that people do when learning to trade or invest in the stock market. And before that, I'll share you some of the instances which I've come across. I'm not a stock market investor, and I have only thing I've done is I've done some very low investment in the mutual funds, which are still there with me. But what I have observed in many of my friends is initial day one they invest something, they get some money, and then they start getting into it, and after a month or 2 months they start losing money. And one of my friends has invested significant amount of money, like if you were to relate that, probably 2 to 3 million Indian rupees. Okay, and that's a huge amount, and this happened about 10 to 15 years ago, and I don't know what mistake he has committed, but he's still investing whatever the amount that he gets, and he's still optimistic. He wants to make money where he has to get, I mean, where he has lost, he want to gain from there itself, right? So I'm curious to understand from you, what are the common mistakes that people do, right, in terms
Great
of
question.
investment trading? Yeah.
Some of the mistakes people do, I would say they rely on strategies. Like the strategy is the answer. When you need to learn how to read what price action is, what I call it, price action for trading, what the charts are doing, what the stock is doing. There's a way that stocks move. And if you can't diagnose if we're going to go bullish or bearish, up or down, it doesn't matter what strategy you do. You're always shooting in the dark. And it's a really hard thing to you can take all this money and throw it at it. And most of my students, they'll come at me and they'll say, hey, what strategies can you give me to make me money? And I'm like, I could give you the world's greatest bull strategy. And if you did it, last year, you would have lost money.
Yeah.
And I could give you the world's greatest bear strategy this year. And if you'd have done it this year, you would have lost money. Yeah. More important than that is to figure out and diagnose where these markets are going. And that's a skill that anyone can learn. And it doesn't, technical analysis, it's not the end all be all, but it's also not, it's very important to learn. And it's not that hard to learn. Anyone can learn. I teach this to 90-year-olds, and I also teach it to 12-year-olds. It's something that's not hard. It's just people skip for some reason. I don't know if they want the easy route or if the world of trading is just all around strategies. Yeah. But I tell people a lot, it's if you get in your car and the car doesn't start, you don't go and just grab a random tool. Yeah. You first need to figure out what's going on with the car. Like, okay, pull the hood. The car doesn't start. Let me check the battery. Okay, the battery's dead. What tool do I need to take the battery off the car and go get a new one? Strategies are just tools to make money. You need them. Strategies are really important, but they're just a tool. It's what you use to make money. But again, if you don't know what the diagnosis is, if you don't know what the problem is with the car, it does you no good to have just a wrench in your hand. You need to figure out what's wrong with it first. Yeah. And diagnosing the stock market, learning price action, it's called the S curve. Learning how the markets move and how they curve, and understanding when to get in, when to get out. Most people are buying when everyone else is selling. So they get in and then they lose money. And by the time they're selling, other people are buying and it goes back up. And then so they're just always on the wrong side of it because they're always doing the wrong thing. So that would be the step number one, is first off, learn the skill so that you can actually have confidence of not just knowing if it's going to go bullish or bearish, but the charts will also tell you where you're wrong. Yeah. And that's the most important thing, because the charts will tell me what's about to happen, but there's no guarantee that will happen, right? News can come out. The markets are screaming up, and then news of a downgrade on our credit for today is just causing it to crash down. So news can change everything. So not just, the charts will tell you where it's going to go, but they'll also tell you what spots should not be broken, bullish or bearish, so that you can get out and lose small. Because if it breaks those areas, it's probably reversing and going the other way. So charts will tell you all of this. Again, I still use the world macro economics, and I still use that, but I also use charts. I feel like they marry hand in hand. There is no one way better than the other, in my opinion. But first things first is learn how the stocks work. Learn how they move before you just go and invest, because you also have to realize the stock market is not necessarily tied to the economy. Yeah, it is, but it's not. I mean, a perfect example is COVID. We shut down the entire world and the stock market goes up 100%. Yeah, it should have never gone up. Why did it? Why? Because it is tied, but it's not. And a lot of the times it takes years to see the stock market's almost like years behind the big global economic, right? Yeah. Picture. So a lot of people have this mindset of like, hey, this should happen. Apple's going to release a new iPhone, and they go buy it, and then the stock goes down. And they're like, what? And so it's just, having the right expectations, but first off, learn how the markets move. And if you learn how the markets move, you can pull up any chart, crypto, futures, stocks, it doesn't matter. Pull up any chart and go, this is the buying spot. This is the selling spot. This is where I know I'm wrong. And if you have that information, it makes it so much easier because now you're not stressed. I would say most of the emotions come from not knowing anything. You're buying it and it starts going lower. It's like, do I hold it? Do I get out? Or you buy it and it starts going up and you're up a lot of money and then it starts to come down. You're like, should I take my profits? Should I not? If you actually know how to read these charts, they'll tell you this is time to take profits. This is the time to hold. This is where you're wrong. And it brings a lot more peace into investing and into trading. And by the way, it works for everything. I use it for investments. I use it for day trading, everything in between, because it's just how the markets move. And understanding how they move is crucial.
Okay. You mentioned about investment and trading, right? Can you briefly share the difference between what is investment versus trading? How are they different?
Yeah. So investment is, in my book, a long-term play. It's something that I'm buying and I'm going to hold to the good and the bad. Trading is more, I'm going to try to catch the best opportunities. I'm going to buy right now, not that it's a good investment, right? Like meaning long-term. I could be buying a company that's not doing good, but that doesn't mean they can't have a 30% run real quick over the next 2 months. So investing is more taking advantage of opportunities that are in front of you. Investments more of longer term. I'm doing my homework. I'm going to hold through the good and the bad. So it doesn't matter if what happens now. That's investment. Trading is more of, I'm trying to catch quicker opportunities.
Okay. So that brings me to my next question. Like if investment is long-term and trade is probably short-term, should you become a full-time investor or just trade stocks as a side gig?
Oh, man. Well, I guess it's up to you and your lifestyle. How much time do you have to designate towards it? Because the more trading you do, the more time it takes. Now, there's trades that I only look at once a week or once a month, and there's trades that I look at once every 5 minutes. So it's up. You can still choose, what you want to do and the type of trader that you want to be. So that's really what it comes down to. But a lot of the times you can do both. So you can actually trade your investments through options. And that's what I do. So I sell insurance on the stock market. People don't even know that you can buy insurance. Anyone can buy insurance on the stock market. So if you have investments, if you bought Apple at $50 and Apple's currently at $200, right? And it starts to go down, your only option is to sell your shares. Yeah. And that's the only way to mitigate risk. Well, that's not the only way. You can buy insurance that will cover you from that spot all the way down, dollar for dollar. So you never have to stress about it. So I do a lot of teaching. I'll share with your audience here towards the end something that I'm going to do special for you guys to teach you how to do this insurance and how to protect your long-term investments. Because again, you can trade. You can use your long-term investment to actually make consistent passive money through options. And so you can do a little bit of both, honestly. And have the best of both worlds.
I must confess, I'm coming across this insurance for the stock market for the first time. And I think probably you can talk about it towards the end. And with that, let's move to the next question. So Tony, how to work with one's emotions to find peace and success in the ever dynamic world of market trading? Because the moment they lose money, right, it probably might induce a lot of stress.
100%. 100%. And that is the golden nugget to be successful in the market, is that emotional control. You have to think different. Like I was saying earlier, if you think like the majority of people, they're just trying to avoid pain. Pain meaning if I'm up $1,000, I don't want to give up that money. So it's painful if it starts to go against you, or it's painful to lose, right? To lose money, that's painful. So all I want to do is just make that money back because that would get rid of the pain. That's how the majority of people think. And you won't be successful thinking that way. Yeah. Here's the way to be successful thinking. If you want to be successful in trading, you have to think about it more like a coin flip. Okay. So if we're flipping a coin and you get paid $1,000 on heads, but you pay me $300 on tails, you can flip it unlimited times, then you can see the math, right? It would make sense to do that. It's like, yeah, for sure. But the problem is you flip it and land on tails 3 times and you're down $900. Then everyone starts to freak out and they go, I don't know if I want to flip the coin again. Or all you have to do is just think long term, right? Your goal is not to avoid losing. Your goal is to control how much you lose. Put the size on that you know how much you're going to risk and not have to stress about that. So now if the markets give you a chance to lose, you lose small. If the markets give you a chance to win, you win big. And that's what eliminates a lot of the stress, because the money will come and go, but you're losing small and you're winning big. You have a game plan that'll give you success.
Good one. I like the coin flipping analogy. One of my guests also recently was talking about this metaphor, and on a little different context, but yeah, I could resonate with you, and thank you for sharing that. So, so Tony, we have had an incredible conversation so far. It's now time to add some more excitement. Get ready as we dive into a series of intriguing rapid fire questions to spice up the episode further. If you're ready, let's dive in right away.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So here comes my first bullet out of the rapid fire. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Man, if I could have a gigantic billboard anywhere, I would say, man, that's a good one. I would go more on the side of, if you want the life that people dream of, you have to dream bigger than most people will even consider. And just to elevate your thought a little bit higher. Something on that realm is what I would do. Something inspirational is what I'd want.
Yeah. If you have bigger dreams, at least you will still fail at a level higher than others.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, good one. And do you believe in aliens?
I do. I think it makes sense that we're not the only ones.
What would you do if you come across one?
Oh man. If I ever came across an alien, I would simply just ask. I would try to get knowledge, because clearly they're more advanced if they're coming here, because we can't even make it past the moon, right? So I would just simply go, pour some value into me. What do I need to do? Because that's clearly thinking bigger than what I'm doing.
Good one. Loved it. And can you describe yourself in just one word?
Fearless.
What is the weirdest thing that you have ever eaten?
The weirdest thing, I would have to say octopus soup would be the weirdest thing.
This is the second instance I came across octopus in this rapid fire. And what is a question for which you didn't find an answer so far?
Man, I would say why life has to be hard in order for it to be good. Because I know a hard life leads to a good life. If you choose hard today, your tomorrow's usually easier. If you choose easy today, your tomorrow's usually harder. But why that has to be would probably be is something I don't have the answer to.
Wow. I simply liked it. And last one for the rapid fire. What will be one fantasy gadget or an electronic gadget that you would like to see or invent yourself?
Man, I would love to have a sleep mask that would be my alarm that lightens up. So being woken up by light, by natural light, but through a sleep mask. I was like, why not? So someone go out there and do that, and I'll go buy
it. Excellent startup idea, in fact.
There we go.
Okay, and great rapid fire. Let's flip back to the mainstream. And what will be your one piece of advice to those planning to start stock market trading or investing?
Yeah, my advice would be check out reallifetrading.com. We have thousands of hours of free education. So if you're brand new, you don't have to spend any money. We'll teach you everything that you need to know to have a foundation to be able to start trading and start going. After that, now it's more on the emotional side, and there's always more to learn. But that's where a mentor really comes in to kind of help you go, okay, so you know how to trade. That doesn't mean you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
And that's something too people struggle with, is just because you learned a strategy, you learned what candles are, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful. There's so much more that goes into it. So that would be the next step, is to grab a mentor. So for me, something that I want to do special for your listeners is I was trying to think, what can I do that's really going to be like, wow, I want something, not just let's do something real.
Yeah.
So I have courses out there that are going to teach you how to trade these markets. So I have strategies, I have all this stuff. Buy any one of those courses. They're a couple $100. And for every person that is listening right now that buys it, I'm going to give a $2,000 package for free.
Wow.
One-on-one coaching in a group setting here through Zoom for a month with me. So in those courses, the reason I don't have you buy them is because that's what we're going to be covering over the month. So that course, the S-curve course, is going to teach you how the markets move. And then over the next month, I'm going to teach you how can you use your knowledge of the markets to now buy insurance, sell that insurance and make some good money. And also just, how to start trading and bringing in some extra income through this knowledge now of you now know how these markets move. And so I want to do that whole entire $2,000 package for free. So just grab the course because that's what we're going to be learning. You need to know that anyways. Any course, you'll have the link below, reallifetrading.com/Tony Pawlak. Any one of those courses are linked up to this. And I want to hold your hand for a month to make sure that you have that mentor to guide you on that right path right from the get-go. So again, if trading something you're interested in, or just investing, or just even building a skill to say, look, I want to start investing in the future, this couple $100 that you're going to spend is going to make leaps and bounds returns on where you're going to be at. And I'll make sure that you're on the right path from the get-go so that you can just find that path to success that much faster. If I would have just gone different, my journey, first off, I would have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses, but it would have been that much faster. And that's what you all can do. And that's what I want to make sure. My entire journey is a waste unless I can help someone not have to go through that same path as me. And I don't want that to be a waste. I want it to be a blessing, not just for me, but for everyone out there that's listening. Again, even if you've never even thought of the stock market, I teach people from 0 to $1 million. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're at on that journey, I can help you on your path. And if this is something that's interesting to you, jump on it. If you're listening to this podcast years later, okay, so I'm going to be doing this group here in October 2023. I will give you all the recordings to the month-long mentor groups and everything else that goes on. So if you grab one of those courses, then I'll send you all the recordings. So if you're listening to this in 2 or 3 years, since these podcasts are evergreen, you're like, oh, I've missed it. Well, no, you still get that. And I'll give you all my contact info so you can still reach out to me and I can help guide you on your path. But having the recordings to that mentor group and listening to what I teach and how I show you and help break down a little bit more of what you just learned in the course, then will be really beneficial. And again, I just want to pour as much value into your life as possible. So that's something I want to do.
Wow, that's huge. And thank you so much. I really appreciate your giveaway. In fact, that will be invaluable to people because you have committed to handhold them and that to involve them in part of group coaching. So folks, whoever is watching this episode or listening to the episode, go check out the link in the show notes or the episode description and grab an opportunity to get mentored by Tony when you buy a course. And I really appreciate it, Tony. So nice of you. And before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you this question. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice platform?
It's been awesome. I've done a lot of podcasts, but I just love your conversation. I love your genuine. I've been a big fan. I've listened to your episodes. I love your passion to enrich lives and to help inspire and motivate and just, again, help people to dream a little bit bigger. And it's just an honor to be a part of it and be here with you. So thank you so much again for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, Tony. It was a pleasure hosting you. And I really appreciate your valuable time and all the wonderful and amazing insights that you have shared with our community. And looking forward to host you again in future. Thank you once again. Have a fantastic time.
And thank you so much. Happy to do so. See you.
See you. Yeah. So friends, that was our episode with Tony Pawlak. And before we dive into the exciting trivia section, we have a small request for you. If you haven't already, we kindly invite you to subscribe to our podcast from wherever you have tuned in at this moment. And by subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest episodes and ensuring that you never miss out on valuable content. And if you have enjoyed this conversation and found it beneficial, we would be immensely grateful if you could share it with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues or family members who can benefit from the Guiding Voice. So go ahead, spread the knowledge and empower others to learn and grow just like you, because your support means the world to us. And not only will your friends or family members or colleagues gain new insights, but we will also gain a set of new subscribers, allowing us to continue producing valuable content for you and our growing community. Thank you so much in advance for your support. And folks, let's embark on this journey of knowledge together. Now let's hop into the trivia segment. And today's trivia is about stock market trading, because we had a powerful conversation with Tony on investment and also trading, dealing with emotions, and how to be successful in the stock market trading come investment. I thought I would give you a brief history and historical knowledge about stock market trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is known as DJIA, is one of the oldest and most widely recognized stock market indices. And it was first calculated in 1896 and consists of 30 large publicly traded companies in the United States. The stock market crash of 1929, which is known as Black Tuesday, was one of the most devastating events in the financial industry, and it marked the start of the Great Depression and led to significant economic downturns globally. And the second fact is that algorithmic trading, which is also known as algo trading or automated trading, it involves the use of computer programs to execute trades based on predefined rules and strategies. And algorithmic trading can help improve efficiency and reduce human error in the trading process. But with the launch of chat GPTs and the boom of artificial intelligence, I'm really curious to see how this stock market trading and investment is going to shape up in the next 2 to 3 years. And I'm sure you must be curious as well. And folks, if you also have any wonderful tips on the stock market trading or investment, feel free to drop your comments if you're watching it on YouTube, or if you have found this episode on any other social media platform, feel free to do so there. And that's a wrap for today's episode. We sincerely appreciate you taking time for tuning in and being part of our incredible community. And we would love to hear from you. Your feedback and also ideas mean the world to us. Please don't hesitate to share your topic recommendations and also suggestions for guest speakers through our vibrant social media channels. We are available everywhere: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, name it, we are there. Or you can also drop us an email on theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. Together, we can create content that truly resonates with you. And I'm your host, Navin Samala, a fellow professional and an insatiable learner. And my mission is to make the world a better place through meaningful conversations that have a lasting impact on your career and also on your life. Stay connected with us as we continue this enlightening journey together. Until we meet again, take care and stay inspired. And remember, the best is yet to come. Bye bye for now. See you all in the next episode.